Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving the 2026 Lexus ES350h. Up front is a 2.5 liter inline-4 as well as a hybrid system, and down below is a CVT. Now I am super excited to be making this video here today because I am in what was previously sunny but now just regular San Diego to drive the all-new Lexus ES. Lexus has brought me down here to try out this and the electric version. There's already an electric review on my channel, and so today we're going to be focusing on the hybrid, the more traditional version of the all-new Lexus ES. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 2.5 liter inline-4 as well as the hybrid system. Well, as I mentioned, that is one of two powertrains offered here in the ES. And for the first time ever, Lexus is offering a dual propulsion vehicle, meaning you can either get them with the gasoline hybrid engine or in electric. This makes 186 horsepower and 175 pound-feet of torque. It also has two electric motors on board, upping that horsepower to 244 complete system horsepower. It's not bad, it's not quick, and you definitely do miss the V6. However, the V6 has been replaced by the electric version that makes a lot more power. So if you really want that zippiness out of your ES, I would highly recommend going to the electric. But they are still offering this with the 6th generation hybrid system, which I think is a very good system, and the all-wheel drive version, which this is, gets around 44 miles to the gallon average, while the front-wheel drive will actually get about 46 miles to the gallon on average. So some pretty hefty numbers coming out of the new ES. Like I said, paired to it is a CVT. It feels pretty natural here in the hybrid application, so I don't have any complaints. And last but not least, this particular ES is all-wheel drive with the dual motor setup. However, you can find them in just front single motor. How does it feel to drive the new Lexus ES? It is great. It has tons of isolation from the road, a very comfortable ride, and I'm really happy with it. Stepping back into an ES product, I was a little hesitant, especially with how much that they've changed, but going over bumps, driving the arguably great San Diego roads, but driving on the road, it feels wonderful and has that premium experience that I would be looking for from the Lexus badge. If you want to compare this to like the Toyota Crown, this rides a lot nicer than this and gives you a lot more premium feeling than the Crown. So that is a huge leg up. In the power department, it could use a couple ponies extra under the hood, but again, that's what the electric version is for. That is going to offer a quicker experience, where this is your more average run around town vehicle. Visibility is good, and as I mentioned, ride quality is spot on. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, we have not only a completely new gauge cluster for Lexus, but the surrounding area is all new. They've gotten rid of the hood coming over the gauge cluster to help with visibility. The gauge cluster itself, very highly customizable, some great screens found in here, tons of good information. It's easy to read at a glance, which hasn't always been the case from Lexus, but they've been making strides to make that better. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our selectors for that gauge cluster screen, as well as our go back, volume, and skip track. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise control. Now, previous Lexuses of the modern era have had haptic touch buttons on the steering wheel, and I hate them with a passion. This is a good middle ground. They're still kind of odd, but you have physical buttons for the skip track and volume, which was always annoying to me that they didn't have physical buttons for that. So they've remedied that, and these controls are actually really easy to use, which is great. The overall steering wheel is nice. It also says Lexus spelled out on it. And off to the left, we have our memory seat options, as well as our gauge dimmer switch, trunk release, gas cap release, and hood release found by my left kneecap. Moving on to the door, of course, we have our Mark Levinson speaker and sound system. We have our power mirrors, power locks, and power windows, as well as our power latches to open and close the doors. I'm not a big fan of this. I think it's a little too gimmicky, but overall, it does the job, so no complaints. Moving into the center, we get an all-new infotainment system, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, of course, but also this is the modern updated Toyota system that we saw debuted with the RAV4 last fall. This is now carried over into the Lexus ES. It's a lot simpler to use. a lot easier to navigate, and overall, it's a very, very good system. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. The climate controls are ran partially through the screen, so like fan speed is ran through the screen. However, we do have physical buttons that we'll talk about in a second. I think the climate controls are fine. I don't love that they're digital, but they work. I haven't had any glitches or problems with them, so that's enough from me. Down below that, we do get our physical buttons for the climate control. So we have dual zone climate. You can change your temperature with a physical button. We have our camera view and defrost, as well as our mirror and rear defrost, and our volume knob in the center, along with 2 climate vents and a hazard switch. Now, these buttons look like they would be haptic. However, you actually can physically push them in. So they are physical buttons at the end of the day, which I quite like, and they operate well. Then we do have 2 USB-Cs as well as 2 wireless chargers. In the center, we have the shifter off to the left for that CVT, pretty standard style shifter. The RAV4 hybrids also come with this same shifter. Power parking brake, auto holding brake, EV mode, and our traction control off. And then off to the right, we do have cup holders that open, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the all-new ES. And as we learned with the electric version, the hybrid also fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do get a center console, USB-C, and 12-volt outlet found in there. And then we have the seats. The seats are heated and ventilated, power, and memory. However, the ES does not offer massage unless you get the electric with the luxury package that will get rear-only massage seats. But no front massage available in any ES at the moment, but they are very, very comfortable, and I've enjoyed my time in them. However, speaking of seats, we have lots more space in the back, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting in the back of the all-new Lexus ES350, and right off the bat, as you'll notice, plenty of space. Now, this is my driving position, and I have probably close to a foot in between my knee and the seat in front of me. This is plenty of space. Really, truly an exorbitant amount of space. We do have 2 USB-C chargers down there, as well as our own climate control vents, Mark Levinson speakers. I don't know if you could see. They do light up. It's a little too bright here today. Lock and unlock on the doors. Interesting choice there. And we do have power windows as well. Over my right shoulder, we do have a center seat that folds down into some cup holders. Love to see that. We get some storage cubbies as well. But interestingly, it does not open up, and it is quite heavy. So I don't know what's in here, but feels like tungsten cubes. Headroom is great. Knee room is great. This is truly like Lexus LS levels. Now, Lexus canceled the LS at the end of last year, so it kind of makes sense that this is almost fulfilling that sort of market. Now, in the electric version of the ES, which I also have a video of on my channel, you can get an executive rear seat package that will have massaging seats as well as little ottomans that fold out. Now, that is not available on this hybrid. So if you get the hybrid, you cannot get the massage executive seat package for the back. Kind of an interesting distinction, but something that Lexus chose. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the new Lexus ES. Pop it up like that. It is a power-operated trunk, and here it is. It's not anything too crazy. It's not a huge increase or decrease over last year's ES, which is nice to see. It's not this like dramatic change of like, oh, it used to be so cavernous and now it's a thimble. It's pretty much the same. Now, on some models, you can get the kick activation for the trunk. This particular one does not have it. Just push the button here, and it comes right back down. Pretty standard trunk operation. Now we got to talk about the looks, and this is a bold change for the ES for sure, and you'll want to watch the electric version video as well, because they actually do differ a little bit visually. But overall, I think it's modern. I think it's hip. The ES has never been this like style icon or like boundary breaking automobile. It's always been kind of a nice luxury Camry, and so you see that here. No breaking news with any of the styling. It works, and that's all I need. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Lexus ES hybrid for the very first time? Well, I have to say that Lexus has done a lot of things really well on this vehicle. I will say I think losing the V6 is going to lose some sales. Although the power is there in the new electric version, most people that wanted the V6 don't want electric. That's a Venn diagram that never intersects. Or intersects few and far between. So I think they are going to lose some people there. They want the big V6 sedan, and this just doesn't have that. But I think a lot of other things are very, very good. The ride quality truly surprised me. Getting in and driving here today, I was genuinely shocked and impressed with how nice that it rides. So that's a huge win. I think the infotainment and technology in here is nice. You know, Lexus has taken this big technology leap in the last couple of years, and I think they're finally starting to iron out some of the wrinkles with it. It feels way better integrated here in the ES. It feels more natural here in the ES. All of these touch screens and buttons and haptic whatevers. When they put it into the RX, it just felt a little undercooked. And the tech in there just felt like it was kind of hastily pasted in as opposed to really truly thought about. And you get that thought and feeling here in the ES. So that is very, very nice. And the biggest thing to me is that they offer a gasoline hybrid. This is not a plug-in hybrid. If you buy this, you won't have to plug it in. You won't have to do anything besides just drive the gosh darn car and put gas in it, which a full tank is well over 500 miles of range, which is fantastic. I'm glad that they still offer it. Lexus is keeping one foot in either camp. They have their futuristic EV as well as their historically well-selling hybrid. So we'll see how this plays out, but at least for the time coming, for the years coming, they are offering it with a gasoline-powered engine, and that for a lot of people is going to sell them on it. And honestly, for me, this is the one that I would take. I would take the hybrid over the electric any day of the week. It just fits my lifestyle better, and it's nice to see that Lexus is giving us those choices as opposed to just saying, hey, we killed the gas engine, now you're stuck with EV if you want an ES, and making you kind of forfeit a lot of things. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Lexus for bringing me down here to San Diego to film the new ES. They've been absolutely wonderful. They also let us poke around the new TZ, which is their full electric 3-row SUV. We weren't allowed to drive it, but we were allowed to take some pictures and video of it. So here's a little sneak peek of that vehicle, unavailable quite yet. But they've been absolutely wonderful, and it's always a good time to get out of the chilly Midwest and come down to what I was told would be sunny, but was lied to, San Diego. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.